here with Phil Kopinski, head coach of the Cougar men's and women's track teams. Today, looking back at the competition over the weekend at North Central College, the Chicagoland Indoor Championships, which is always the biggest meet of the indoor season in terms of just numbers of student athletes. And Phil, last week we talked a little bit about Chelsea Wilson, who had a big outing at U of Chicago and came up with a new school record. This week she kind of topped herself.
Yeah, and as you had theorized last week, a voice that we would probably be talking about with some regularity. Every week Chelsea's just getting stronger and faster and outperforming herself. This week she took down two school records, the 60 meter and the 200. And she's, poised to probably continue on that path. And what's that expression? She's got a high ceiling. So we'll continue to keep getting bigger ladders and stressing her as much as we can, and we'll see what we can get out of her. And she's very coachable, and she's very interested in seeing how good she can get. So it's a recipe for success.
All right, and if you want to consider that we're still kind of early into the track season, certainly the women's sprints have been a highlight of the team so far. Obviously, Chelsea off to such a great start, but you're also getting some good production from a few others, Rashad Anderson and Andrea Caldwell, just to name a couple.
Yeah, the girls' sprints and jumps are doing exponentially well. I think to this point I could probably say with almost 100% certainty that that crew, the sprints jumps crew, is probably performing better now than they have in the last 3 years. Rashada is running personal bests every time we turn around. Drea is returning to form of where she was her freshman year as far as her long jump and her sprints. And the newer kids, Otilia is coming along really well. Heather Lang, everybody's kind of just developing. So there's something that we stumbled upon as a coaching staff that's making a huge difference, and it's the kind of thing that builds kids up. They're feeling confident, and that confidence leads to better training, and better training leads to better results.
Phil, as a college coach, certainly you have to be excited when you see kids taking on new challenges and succeeding. And just to kind of bring home that point, I'm going to kind of abruptly switch over to the men's side of things. Certainly a great example of that this past weekend was Joey Malmy. Malmy, who has played soccer here for a couple years, but this is his first year in track. At Saturday's competition, he competed in the long jump, which I understand he has never done previously, including in high school. And he just had a great debut effort in that event.
Yeah, as we were talking earlier before the cameras turned on, you try kids in events where you think they'll have some success, and sometimes it works out, other times it doesn't. But Joey, pardon any expression here, but like a duck to water. He came in, and he'll still do pole vault for us. So it's something that we're going to do because there's a lot of similarity actually in the body mechanics for the two events. And we were doing some drills and saw some things, and Coach Mack said, "Hey, get out a measuring tape. Let's have him do that again." I'm like, "How do you feel about the long jump?" And I think he finished 11th or 12th in the meet out of 48 plus competitors on Saturday, and he was still leaving a lot of distance on the board because we just haven't done approach stuff with him because we never noticed he was a long jumper. So here's a kid who comes in. He's my nomination for Athlete of the Week within the school and for the conference. I was just blown away by how comfortable he was in the air. He had great body mechanics. He's got great speed. He's a powerful athlete. I think he's another one that, with a little bit of coaching, would love to have had him out here 2 years ago. But we'll take what we have, and we'll see if we can get him in the top 3 in conference.
All right. Phil, are there any other highlights from this past week, either men or women, that you would like to touch on?
Well, I think we hit a slew of personal bests, all-time personal bests. I think Rashad, Drea, a couple other girls, Sonia Sorensen, Kelly Gastella, all set lifetime bests. There's a couple girls that ran indoor bests, like Alicia Johnson ran an indoor best in the 800. On the guys' side, very similar. Zach Slusher, all-time best. JJ, Jabril, lifetime best. I think Christian Rasmussen, lifetime best. And there's a few people that had indoor best. I think Jerry Williams might have had an indoor best. So it's a long list. Right now on paper, if you look at it, I mean, we're beating down the records in the doors left and right. I'm excited about that. I want to keep going. You get a little taste of that. You want to continue to progress and help them reach their lifetime goals before they get out of here. So records are nice. Improvement is nice. But I think our kids have a bigger picture in mind. It's that old adage, they're not confusing activity with accomplishment. There's lots of activity going on right now, but they really want to accomplish something bigger, and they're working hard towards it.
All right, and certainly a couple opportunities coming up to really show something this week back at the University of Chicago for the Bradley Invitational. And that'll be the last competition before the conference meet on the 28th. And just talk for a moment about, right now it looks like the team is settling into a good practice group, because now it's, for the month of February, you're literally with a meet every weekend, and definitely your athletes are having a chance to develop more of I guess, an everyday routine when it comes to working in their events.
Well, it definitely helps, and we always preach here that meets are just glorified practices. Everybody's just wearing the same uniform. We try not to get too high or too low on every Saturday. Some athletes that are new, we try to alleviate that anxiety that they might have, because really all it is a practice. It's a data point. It gives us information on how to make you better. And we don't want athletes to get too high, like, oh yeah, my results were great, I'm there. Well, no, you're not there yet. We're gonna get you there. But don't go too high, don't go too low. Stay in the routine, stick with the training cycle. Everybody's getting positive results right now, so it's time to just keep our eyes focused, get through week to week, and if everything goes well and we stay injury-free over the next 2 weeks, we should have some really good performances at the conference meet.
All right. Phil, thank you for your time this afternoon, and best of luck to you and the team this week at the University of Chicago, and we'll be back here next week to talk about that meet.
All right, thanks, Jim.